sunset's amazing. You guys can't see it. I can see it in my mirror. It's amazing. That's drumming. Thank you. Oh, look at this. Oh, God. Oh, God. Look at that. Holy shit. Look at that. Holy shnikes. Hot. 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 Delicious. I could taste it before I even drank it. Delicious. It's 3-0, 3-0. Three concurrents instantly in here. Three concurrents instantly leave. Somehow. Oh, it's because they didn't leave. It's because they didn't leave. Your Jim's just lying about the number. Oh, that's good. Now, 3, 0, 3, 0, 3, 0, 3, 1, 0, 3, 0. Yep, there it is. 1. My bike was revving, so I revved. They're sitting there, wee wee. He's probably doing it though, so he didn't have to put his feet down. I can understand that. He's probably rolling a little bit. It wasn't like burning out or anything. It was just rubbed it a few times. Let's see it. Let's do the spike. Not stupid. Rice. Rice is good, man. I forgot I had soup too. So maybe I'll put a lid on this and eat my soup. I'm gonna eat my soup. Three concurrents. One concurrence, three concurrents. And then when you say something, you see just one more concurrent added to that in like a little bit. So if you remember earlier, it was 2, 1, 2, 2, so they added a third. Now I've mentioned it's 3, so they added a fourth. If you saw earlier, there was like a fourth one that showed up. So they're just cooking the numbers. They're not accurate. It's like all these people cycling in and out, and they just lie. They just sit the number at 2. So anybody that comes in here, you just think there's probably like maybe 1 or 2 other people hanging out in here, if that. And it's just, oftentimes actually it just says 1 for you. Oftentimes it'll just say that there's 1. So that essentially all you think is that you're the only one in there. I noticed that. And then when I watch the stream from another device, I see the whatever number it's at. As soon as I come in, it'll bring that number up for a split second and then jolt it back down. So that's why. It is a capped concurrent. That's what it's doing. So when I can come in and confirm that on my devices, that's what they're doing for everybody. And that's what they're doing for every device on here that we see that where it's obvious the concurrents aren't accurate, then they're not reflecting properly on the graph below and all that. And we see the spikes. Like, I'm not stupid. I see it happening. So ooh. Hot. Hot soup. down to 0. Take that 3 right down to 0. 3 people didn't all collectively leave the stream at the same time. Yep, that's that cooked concurrence number, where the numbers are just cooked for what the stalker typed in the YouTube system. That's it. So essentially, another step, somebody comes in here and just jolts the number back down, and if it hits above the number that it's supposed to be, like 3, that they've capped it at, it puts it at 0 for X amount of time, which is what you see right now, where like a bunch of people came in and it just jolted down to 0, so that way it kills the trending and lies about the numbers. Meanwhile, there's probably like 5 or 6 people in here. And then you see, as I continue to talk about it, it sits at 0 longer. So that's that programmed cancel rhythm, where that's the point. Normally when you talk about bad shit, toxic shit, you know flat out you get a ton of people watching, tons of views. This is how this cancel rhythm works. But conveniently, if I talk about how terrible YouTube is, or trash YouTube is, conveniently 0. And then we lie, we doctor the end result, and you literally just see the lies. Oh, and then conveniently a 1 to show up in the stream to fucking lie, to just lie, to try to paint some sort of, oh no, here comes 1 in the stream. No, it's literally just a fucking lie. Oh, here's 2 more. We'll just jolt it up to 3 to continue the lie. Yeah, so like that's the point. This is what always has gone on. You know, just not being truthful about actually who's watching. And part of the reason for that is because YouTube started picking up on the fact that all these people were watching and were using people's data, like my friends, my family, and they were tracking their data, and they were shifting the bitrate around all over the place based on whether or not somebody, a friend of mine or something that I knew, was watching the stream. This is what they used to do to communicate. And YouTube doesn't want to own up to the fact that they're the ones that were spying on all of you, trying to sell you things with their ads. And this is why these people were so easily able to determine. Remember how I said, if you know me, stop watching the streams, it's causing problems? This is why. Because they're sitting here literally spying on all of you using your data, because YouTube is a legitimate data broker. They're allowed to do this, legally speaking. They're allowed to fucking spy on you. And when I say spy on you, I mean it. Like literally, I mean that. Like for real. It used to be that it was like there's provisions and invasion of privacy and stuff in place. When the Trump administration came in, and this corrupt organization known as Google was sued by the DOJ, and the Trump administration came in removing, things that are ethically sound and stuff like that, and, restrictions and stuff. We know that they essentially, the reason they're getting more aggressive with this and stuff like that is because they agree with that rhetoric, and flat out have been censoring me, anything I've said about Trump over the years that was negative or anything. Yeah. And they've tried to censor it. Now remember, The normal people, they're not censoring, like Jon Stewart, The Daily Show, all those people, they're not doing that because you already know about them. So if they censor them, it's going to be a problem. They're going to figure it out. So they have to continue censoring people that you're not hearing from, that would be speaking out, so that way it doesn't seem like there's new people and a bunch of new people coming out and saying things. This is why these things are happening. And this is why people like Philip DeFranco are being suppressed, and people like Brian Tyler Cohen are being suppressed, and things like that, where all they're doing is saying things that make sense. They don't appear to be super democratic people. They're just aligning with the people that make sense. Zero, 1, 3. As soon as I said it, too. You see that? As soon as I said it, instantly back up to 3. Again, just 3. Back down to 0. Back up to 1. Cycle repeats itself. It's just somebody sitting there actively typing, keying in concurrent views. Because it is capped at a certain number. Again, I've seen it a million times. I'll come in on a device that it should count as a view. And as soon as I come in, whatever that view is at, I see it jolt up to the new number, but then immediately after that it loses 2 concurrents. 1 or 2. Sometimes goes directly to 0. And I'm still sitting on there. That's what it was. A while back, they used to sit there and shift the bitrate around in my stream. They didn't want to be honest about it. They were trying to cause a problem for me and the people around me. Friends, relationships, things like that. YouTube was actually doing this. They were spying on me and causing a problem for my streams for the thing I was trying to build. And shifting the bitrate around and stuff like that, because they were spying and they knew what I was saying to certain family members about certain things and stuff like that. So they knew to shift the bitrate around to cause that response. They knew. And they were spying. They were listening. They were listening through many devices. And this is all they did. You know, people were watching that wanted to support me and wanted to be nice and support me and stuff. And what YouTube would do was silently just start shifting the bitrate around all over the place and then spy on me and see what my reaction was. And so essentially what they would do is just learn various things by spying on me and then react to it. And that's how I knew. Because flat out, they would react and do things based on private conversations I would have in my own house with people. And I knew these people weren't making the mistakes right after having the conversation with them. That was the point. It was very obvious they were trying to get me to have some sort of dynamic with the people that were closest to me to sever that connection. To have some sort of problem where all the people around me would be irritated and upset. YouTube does this. Psychological warfare. And they participate in harassment, stalking, spying, and global espionage. Because YouTube sides with Russia. It's very odd, but I do think that YouTube wants to restore the Soviet Union. I really do. I really think that YouTube wants that. Just being honest. I think that YouTube wants that. Being pretty much the only reason at this point not to remove somebody actively committing all these crimes, and we know what the motive is too. We can see the motive, and we can see it coincides with plenty of other things result having to do with terrorism, having to do with politics. I mean, it's fascinating. Just two concurrent, two down to zero. So just immediately down to zero. Spike in it, trying to cause a problem. Fascinating stuff, right? So yeah, I mean, it's a daily thing. It's a daily thing. And all they'd have to do to prove that they're not is remove the person that's doing all this. That's like arguably literally violating 4 or 5 different federal laws. All they would have to do is remove this person to prove that they condemn it and they agree that this person should be removed, because again, they have countless policies. I mean, aside from that, again, copyright laws. He's breaking copyright laws, copyright policies, stalking and online harassment laws and stuff. It's pretty sad. It is. It's pretty sad, man. And then, like, the point is, we see the responses, we see just the fake bullshit. And we see just the fake bullshit. And this is what YouTube does. YouTube spies on you. They know where you are. They track you all the time. And then people use this. Like just now, this guy, I literally watched it happen. And this isn't the first time I've watched this happen. I watched this guy in a car sitting next to me. All he was doing was scrolling through YouTube. And wouldn't you know, I watched as I came up on his stream. I literally watched it happen just now. And YouTube does this a lot. And this is what YouTube's been doing to me with, like, the Taco Bell thing, with all the places I go to eat. YouTube literally will just trend me in these people's streams. How does that make any sense to you? Especially given the fact that I have somebody stalking, I have somebody harassing my entire family, making threats. Wouldn't it make sense that they wouldn't do those things? That they would try to trend my stream elsewhere? Maybe in other countries and stuff like that? Maybe even across the fucking country? Like, just maybe like mid-country or out west somewhere? No. Instead of all the endless fucking places they could trend my stream, right now, it was trending on the guy conveniently sitting in the fucking van in the same parking lot as me at the same fucking takeout place as he was swiping through his fucking YouTube. Are you kidding me, YouTube? Are you kidding me? Okay, and again, this isn't the first time I've seen this. I have seen this so many fucking times, where I get that look, where it's very clear the person has discovered that they're sitting next to somebody streaming. I have seen it all times. You know what I mean? Like, conveniently right then to that guy, of all places, all people watching, all fucking streams, conveniently it's the guy sitting next to me at the place that I just ate at. No, there's nothing convenient about that. There's no coincidence. That's on purpose. That's the fucking point. Get it now? This is what YouTube has always done. And this is why when you do the same thing, it's kind of arguably starting to happen to you too. Where you start watching on other devices, you see the concurrent disappear, acts like that. These are things where YouTube is trying to hide the fact that your traffic is crossing over into to be, and YouTube is trying to hide it, and all while trying to hide it, again, they're just lying about your concurrents and views. You are allowed to have those regardless of where they're coming from. So the point is, they're sneaking in and they're not supposed to, but then YouTube, you're bearing these consequences. These consequences are your data getting leaked to these people, possibly making you vulnerable to other countries that would do malicious things, yada, yada, yada. Meanwhile, they're stealing the watch hours and the views you get from these people. So it's even worse. Because not only are they exposing you to this, but they're lying about it too. And they're not even giving you fucking credit for the views. This is what's happening. This is why people watching K-pop videos and all those videos where they sit there and flat out they remove views and stuff. Yep. Because flat out there's so much unencrypted traffic going on in those parts of the world, and they don't want to own up to the fact that they are not responsible about their own platform. Not. And haven't been for decades. Yep, YouTube's been getting just increasingly worse over the last 2 decades. And again, it was after Google bought it. It's just been getting increasingly less safe. Yep, imagine that. Google, that owns fucking everything, is what makes it unsafe. Yes. They should not own YouTube, period. Google should not own YouTube. This is disgusting. And the point is, they're using all of your data as it's spread out throughout Google. Google sits there and stores your fucking data. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Three concurrents down to 0. 3 concurrents down to 0. 3 concurrents down to 0. 3 0 3 0 3 0 3. Up to 5. What are we lying about? What are we overcompensating for? Oh, that's right. The fact they were doing it earlier. That's right. Huge groups of concurrents just like instantly leaving and coming in the stream like 0 cents. 5 down to 0. 3 5 0. Like it would be consistent. Now all of a sudden you're saying 5 and 3 concurrents. No, it should have been that the whole time. You're just lying. You're just like overcompensating now. safe platform. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's the initial. Let's start pushing down code to try to fudge the to try to fuck with the hardware. I literally just saw it. There's the initial push for some scripts to fuck with the hardware. So we just had an initial breach just now through YouTube's completely unsafe data stream. That again, YouTube should not be available in certain countries. Period. End of discussion. Especially ones that are at war with the rest of the world. And yet all these Russians come in the stream and stuff like that. Yeah. I remember when that happened. And I also remember everybody acts really weird when we have some Russian people in the stream and stuff like that. And then they start fucking with my channel and stuff like that, because we have some people that start typing in chat that indicate they're from Russia and stuff. And then YouTube starts causing a problem for me. That ain't my problem. That's your problem, YouTube. You're the one that allows it to be watched in that country. Why are you causing a problem for me? This is what YouTube does. Meanwhile, they're the ones scamming everyone, working with the enemy. Are you like, what the fuck? Why would 3 people leave the stream as I pull up to a drive-thru? That makes 0 sense. Why wouldn't there be more? Well, there are. In actuality, 3 more people joined the stream. So there's probably 8 people in here and not 2. Literally just YouTube fucking lying. Fucking liars.
I'll be right with you. Give me 1 moment.
Sure.
That's fine. I'd like to try the strawberry mangonada.
Medium is the only sorry. Medium is the only size we have. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Can I get a medium cookie dough Sonic Blast?
Yep. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. That's gonna be 10:15 today. Thank you.
Did I say that I wanted to large it first? Why did she? I'm not really sure about that one. Maybe she just thought I said I wanted to large. Seems weird. But yeah, anyway, that's what YouTube does. They, we have to close the problem. And that's why we've had those issues. You know, because YouTube, that's because YouTube does spy on you and follow you around and shit. Thanks. I appreciate that. Just remember, guys, we're talking about things that we've been proving, not conspiracies. I know we've been talking about this for a while, but we sort of have been doing a lot of proving lately. You know, some of the streams that I labeled like terrorism on YouTube and stuff like that. We did a couple of those where you can really see where we laid it out for you to kind of follow along with everything. I don't know what's happening. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I don't know what's happening, but I'm waiting.
$37. For a slushy and a.
Sorry. Your total is $10.15.
Alright.
Thank you.
$37 for a slushy and a, and a shake. I was wondering what was taking so long, so somebody get the orders mixed up. I think their system's rebooting. It looks like their system's rebooting. Their screens are like rebooting and stuff.
Here's your card. Here are your straws. Here's the cookie dough.
Cool.
And here's that. Would you like a spoon for the cookie dough?
Nah.
Have a nice night.
Chill. Necessary.
No spoon necessary. That was pretty crazy. 37. Just kidding. Yeah. I mean, obviously I knew that wasn't right. Alright, so let's take a look at this. This is cool. Look at this. Right? This looks interesting. The strawberry mangonada slush. It looks like there's a little bit of like some sort of spice sprinkled on top. So it might be a little bit of a hint of spice with sweet. Yeah, a little bit. I'm not really getting a lot of it. I think it's because it's like just sprinkled, just a hint on top. But the slushy's good. Wow. Oh, wait. I do want a spoon. Son of a bitch. You want a spoon for this whole thing? I'm not gonna be able to eat this with a straw. They don't really have shakes. They have, like, ice cream. Yeah, that's fine. I'll use my food. I should have just said yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was thinking of, like, when I normally will, like, it'll just, like, sort of kind of start melting, and I just tip it back. But it's really pretty solid. Like, it's not a shake, it's ice cream. Yeah, this is ice cream. It's literally just ice cream. You can even see, like, the indent of the fork. Of course I want to spoon them. What are you gonna do with a straw? You're gonna suck this through a straw. This. Let me just show you something. This is ice cream, dude. There's no shake here. Like, this is why. Watch. Like, it's ice cream. It's not even falling off my fork. Yeah, I want a spoon. Actually asks me. They were like, she was just, they need help, I think. I think they need help. They need somebody, because it looks pretty busy, and their screens were rebooting. I mean, I feel bad, actually, like, because she was really nice. And I could tell she was just busy. It sucks. It's not her fault. It's not. None of that was her fault. Absolutely no point did I think she did anything wrong. Because remember, she didn't even fight me on anything. Anybody, like, that's the point. If they try to fight you on it, then it's like, so you made the mistake. You know what I mean? But it's like, otherwise they'll just be like, oh, okay, hold on. You know what I mean? Like, exactly what she did. She just got my right order. You know what I mean? Like, why would I, you know? So yeah, like, it was not her fault. Oh my god, what is she just doing everything? She's bringing food out. There's a car in the drive-thru right now. Right now, she's delivering food to a table while there's a car at the drive-thru. And she's also at the drive-thru. That means somebody didn't show up. That's what that means. Somebody didn't show up. There's no way. There's no way the order taker at the drive-thru runs out orders to people sitting at tables outside. There's no way. That is not efficient. Well, there's no way. No. The person I'm describing is doing everything. Like, she's bagging the food, she's getting the drinks, she's taking orders, she's handing orders out to the people. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it looks like there's, like, one other person in there doing, like, food and stuff like that. And she's doing, like, everything in the service, I think. That's crazy. That's often what would happen to me. That's often what would happen to me when I did that job. I would often be the nice guy that people called off. That's not my fault. I'm the hiring manager. No, I'm not hiring these people. You want incentive? Pay people properly. It's not my fault. It's not my fault, not at all. People love working with me. Nope. Somebody called out. Somebody just didn't show up or called out or whatever. That's all that is. I've seen it 100 times. And their systems are rebuilding. That sucks, man. That's awful. Friday night. That explains why I waited there so long. That's okay, though. She's handling it. She got the cars through. And she's doing it. Now she's coming outside again with more drinks. This is crazy. There's nobody else here helping her.
Yeah, I see like one other person in there. I think I know what's happening. I think I know what's happening here. I think the manager is doing nothing. I think that's what's happening here. I think the manager is like counting cash and sort of like standing somewhere or sitting somewhere. And then the two other employees are doing all of the work. I think that's what's going on. Because I don't know if she's a manager or not, but that's kind of what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, because normally you'd have some sort of manager, and I don't really see one unless she is. It's usually what I see too. Usually I see at this time somebody is sort of kind of standing there at the counter counting drawers. Like, you can kind of see it. And oftentimes I do see only just two people kind of doing work and one person sort of standing there counting a drawer or whatever, not really like engaged in work, just like the drawer work, like counting. And that's fine if they have to do stuff before they leave, I get that, but it also indicates there's an overlap there where there's a fourth actual person that technically needed while that person's doing that. It's Friday night, man. You're not going to have somebody for an overlap while that person's counting? Are you kidding me? You don't want to make sales then? Yeah, you want this to happen. You don't want to make your sales. That's all. That's all that means. If you have enough people scheduled and you push the food out, you have enough people to make those sales. Because if people see that drive-thru moving and stuff like that, and they see lots of employees, that also does it too. Lots of employees, just the presence of energy in the business, that sends a message. But yeah, if it looks dead on a Friday night, it didn't when I first showed up, but then you can see people kind of, I think, went elsewhere. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but it's probably what happened. You have to rationalize it. They have a chance to drive past here, look at the drive-thru, see if it's moving. They have a chance to drive past on this to see if the drive-thru's moving. As they come out of any of these stores, they have a chance to see it. People do it. Not everyone, but people. But anyway, it's good. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I feel bad for her is all I'm saying. Like, I hope that she has the proper staffing she needs. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah. Oh, YouTube. United States of America. The United States of America. United States of America. Instantly the 6 goes to 2. Instantly. Interesting. United States of America. After saying that. The United States of America. The United fucking States. The United fucking States. United fucking States of America. The United States of fucking America.
It's not cold as fuck for once. Yeah. Windows down. Windows down. Yeah. Windows down. Windows down. Windows. down. Windows down. Windows down. Windows down. Fucking windows down.
Okay, now that was unstoppable. But yeah, I don't know. I was just playing over random patterns before that. Always,
You are. You tried to tell me you love life and found another way to kill life. And you tried to tell me that you love life and found another way to kill. Wow. Get psycho.
I was doing a little Perry Mason there. A little Perry Mason. Perry Mason there. Slush.
take it. I don't need it. I don't want to hear your motherfucking sigh. You can love it, or you can leave it. Because nothing I say and nothing I feel is right. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't understand. What's even been dying and just holding out your hand. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't have explained. Because you don't know the difference between violence and pain. There's no denying it. Never had control. I stand alone. I guess I knew it all along. Yes, I knew that you were wrong. How you left when I was down. And I want you to say it was never really me. You just turned and walked away. How you've turned me inside out. Inside out. Inside out. Not a dog. I'm not a slave. Doesn't matter how much money you get paid. Give a shit. Never did. So you can wipe it away, that silly fucking grin. Slow it down for you. To see your straight through your soul and come right out your ear. I'll never bend, I'll never shed a tear. I knew that you were wrong. Never really me. You just turned and walked away. How you've turned me inside out. Inside out. How you've turned me. I'm inside out. How you've turned me inside out. I'm inside out, 'cause you're inside out. Do, 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 do. I stand alone. I guess I knew it all along. Yes, I knew that you were wrong. How you left when I was down. Walked away. Inside out. Inside out.
And how you've turned me inside out. I'm inside out, 'cause you're inside out. How you turned me inside out. I'm inside out, 'cause you're inside out. Better acoustics in here. Acoustics is everything. You'll be surprised why, like certain things sound the way they do. Certain rooms, certain miking, certain equipment. Pearl. Cowbell still works. That's all that matters. I need more cowbell. I need more cowbell. All my friends are the low rider. All my friends are the low rider. I need to replace all these heads. So I'm not behind it. That's how shitty it sounds. That's how shitty it sounds. I know it's loud as fuck, but what do you expect? Drum set. That's my alpha receiver. It's incredibly dirty. It needs clean. Yeah, I always had these. I always had this like awesome like thick one. It was like with the rivets. I really liked this hi-hat. I mean, I gotta clean it. It's been sitting in the basement for freaking ever, but Zildjian only. It's like one of those ones where like I like plenty of other brands. Seriously, I like plenty of other brands of drums. Tama, DW. I mean, I love Pearl too. A Yamaha. I love all these different brands of drums, but I'll tell you one thing. Cymbals? I really won't go with any other brand. Zildjian is just the best, plain and simple. There's just, I don't know, just something kind of irreplaceable about Zildjian. Take a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip with me. Staff. Spinning staff with one hand in the dark inside while holding the phone. Holy shit. How would I be able to do that? Oh my god. Spinning. Oh my god. It's so hard to. Oh, let me tell you what. Oh my god. Oh, it's so hard to do. Spinning a staff with one hand inside in the dark while holding. Oh my. Oh, it's so hard to do because it's not like I didn't teach martial arts forever or anything. Oh my. Oh yeah. Like I wouldn't. Oh my god. Oh man. Take a little trip. Take a little trip. Take a little trip. Take a little trip. You're coming in? Here you go. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. Lots of pets. Where are you gonna eat your food now? That's good. Take a little trip. Take a little trip. Take a little trip. Do 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 do. Take a little trip. Why is Lowrider in my head now? Oh, right, the cowbell. All my friends. All my friends. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. 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 Do do. Take a little trip. Take a little trip. Take a little trip with me. Take a little trip. Take a little trip. Take a little trip. See. Dun 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 dun. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do. Low ride her. Rides a little slow. Rider. Yeah, I know the ceiling only goes so. You gotta kind of like bend way down. You shouldn't do that unless you have a high ceiling anyway, or you're outside. I used to run into that all the time in my original training studio, and then when we built the new one, we made sure to get higher ceilings, and it was a blessing for sure for staff work. Do 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 do. Take a little trip. Take a little trip. I had to stop it there. Looking at the ceiling. Take a little trip with me. Take a little trip. Take a little trip. Take a little trip and see. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do. Yes, I can still do it. You really shouldn't do that unless you have low ceilings. You're always going to hit the ceiling. But yeah, it's a way to continue the motion. I mean, I honestly shouldn't be doing this in here anyway because I'm gonna hit something. I'm like trying so hard to keep it really close to my body. That's why I hit myself a couple times, because I'm actually going too close to myself on purpose. And intentionally hitting myself instead of objects. That's actually a lot of what staff is. Is actually like learning how to spin it and then stop it exactly when you need to. Like, there's so many times where if you're using a staff, it's far more useful to understand how to use it from an awkward angle than it is like this. Because like 9 times out of 10, you're never gonna be like this, you know? And so it's much more realistic. Also, like, you know, like how many things are realistically exactly the size, you know? So you know, it's far more realistic to, you know, practice and learn, you know, off of those spins and stuff like that, and then try to do as many, you know, based on your repertoire, based on, you know, essentially for the advanced stuff, you know, as you get better at the hits and you know, learning what you're supposed to do with the staff and things like that, you know, it becomes more about, you know, essentially, like I said, how many times are you going to actually be squared up like this? So it becomes more about what you can do as you spin it fast. And then so you start, I can't really do it in here, but you start kind of doing like these, where you go around the neck. I can't really do it in here. I'm gonna hit something, and then you have to do the two. So it's around the neck and then so yeah, like that's the point, is essentially to be able to catch it with your body and continue the motion. So that's kind of the point, is to learn how to do that. And then you know, like obviously, let's say you're here and you're about to roll it around. Actually, I changed my mind. Now I'm going to grab it and whip it around and hit him a second time. Does that make sense? Like, the point is, like, you need to be able to instantly change what you're doing and shift and stuff like that. It's not a concise, precise thing. And so that's why anytime I see somebody taking a staff and doing very basic karate-like movements with it, I know you're doing it wrong, because there should be a flow to it. You know? So that's all I'm saying is with staff. Oh, also the same goes, there's also too much to that too. The people that call themselves like masters with staff and stuff, and then they have like this staff that's like this long, and they're like spinning it with one hand super fast all over the place, throwing it up in the air. These are baton twirlers. These are people that like, they learned baton twirling in school, and now they picked up a staff and they're doing baton twirling. They're baton twirlers. They're not martial artists. And yes, they're very good at twirling a baton. That's it. Now, you want to hit somebody with that, and you know how to hit somebody with that and use that to your advantage, great. But again, this is not going to help you with this. And again, you need practical application with that. I got news for you. You're twirling this thing around all over the place, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna have the same reaction. What was that movie? Where they like made fun of the guy and it was like, yeah, and he just like hit him. It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that where like you're doing that and you just get hit. So it's definitely like useful again for learning the motions and stuff, but again, if you're not translating it to your left hand, then you're not learning to use both hands simultaneously when you do that. Now, some of them do, but some of them will really, they're just taking one and using one hand the whole time. And again, if you're not learning the hits and stuff like that, how that coincides with martial arts, you're not really learning much with that. So yeah, like it looks cool and stuff like that, and you're getting halfway there, but it's not, like it's not necessarily practical application martial arts. That's all. Like for example, if I was in close quarters like this, and it was a real scenario situation, I actually probably would break my own staff in half and use it as a screamer stick. So like you have to just think outside the box. Like the point is, I probably wouldn't even really use this long of a thing in close quarters like this because you see what's happening. So like essentially, the point is you would adapt and evolve to the situation. So yeah, like something like a short staff would actually be good for those situations where you have low ceilings and close quarters and stuff. But again, you still have to know how to use that, and using a short staff is a little bit different than using a long staff, and it sure is not just spinning it around all over the place. So just definitely know that. But yeah, I mean, we've gone over staff striking before, but like, briefly, it's pretty easy to just, do a side hit right like that, where you just kind of hit the head or essentially knock something out of somebody's hand or something like that. It's also fairly easy to do a stab, much like this. There's a couple different, here, I'll just shift it so you can see with this hand. There's a couple different ways that you can do this with a stab if you want to. You can actually, there's a whole bunch of different ways. So I'm just going to give you a basic one. You just hold your hand up, sort of like that, and you just kind of push it forward. It's literally just, you're actually kind of twisting your hand a little bit to line it up properly. See how my wrist kind of comes up? And then it just sort of thrusts forward. But your hand will stay out there. Okay? So you are guiding it. It's not a pull cue. You're not doing it like that. It's like this. And that's the same thing that we do when we go overhead and we stall the staff over. I'm so scared I'm gonna hit this light. And you stall the staff on your hand. In Kung Fu, we spin the staff. Can you see that? It is so hard for me to spin it in here like that. We spin the staff over our head on our hand like that. I'm actually stalling it there. I'm not trying to spin it too fast. See how it's on my hand? I'm actually sort of balancing it on my hand. I'm not trying to spin it too fast, but you see how it, if you just know how to do it, it's just going to balance there. And so that's how we spin the staff in Kung Fu. You do not twirl it with your fingers. No. Nope. That needs to be level on the hand, and you need the dexterity to be able to balance it. Because the purpose of that is to get somebody, to see that, to think it's a target. And also, it's also a brief moment where you can switch and then just grab it. That's the purpose. So yes, for sure, if they hit it, you can literally just grab it and sweep the legs. Or, essentially do, so did you see how I quickly grabbed the end? I slid my hand all the way down. that's kind of the point, is to be able to have the ability to do that. Now you can leave it in the center too, and like I said, you can just kind of grab it. But nah, like the whole point is to be able to, you know, have that open hand to be able to shift, which is why open-handed is always better, because when I block, it's as simple as smacking that hand and it just jolts the hand away. And not only that, if it doesn't, I can grab. You know, if you're always closed fist, it's stupid. Like somebody's just gonna, like if their punch is stronger, it rolls up over your block and just hits you anyway. Fingers? No. You're going to block, it's going to shift, and you're going to be able to grab. That's what Wing Chun teaches us, and that's why a lot of people align with that particular one. But really, it's just Kung Fu. Really, that just comes from Kung Fu and practicing that with dummy stuff. Manus, Eagle Claw, all that stuff. Manus, Eagle Claw, all that stuff. So, that's where a lot of that comes from. And then, you know, again, that same concept that even as I'm holding this, I'm not gripping it super tight. You know, like a lot of the time my hand is actually pretty open. It's the backhand that stays locked. Okay? And then conveniently you also see a lot of karate forms and stuff where the backhand comes here and they don't really seem to understand why. They really can't. That was the issue with karate when I learned, is like he couldn't explain, and that's why I learned Kung Fu eventually. A lot of the time when I was learning karate, the instructor, like when I was even 9 years old, I understood that if the instructor can't explain to me why I'm doing something, I shouldn't be learning from that instructor. And that was very obvious to me. He could not explain certain things to me. He had no idea why he was putting his hand all the way at his side when that leaves you open. You know, like you're doing this really, really forward, hi-ya! Why are you putting your hand down here? And he just couldn't tell me. And, well, because the point was I was a really good kicker. So the whole point was the moment anybody did that, yeah, just freaking kick them. And it was quite laughable half the time because they put all their effort into it. And you just, if you kick them in their hip, if you know anything about grappling, the very moment that they force all that, the center of gravity, if you do it right at the right time, they're going to go flying. And you start recognizing what Kung Fu actually does. So like basically I was doing Kung Fu before Kung Fu, you know, like it was just like naturally occurring. And I was rationalizing that other people did this throughout history too, that this wasn't making any sense, and they started backdating it like I did. And some people just became wise, and others continued being fools and meatheads and stuff like that. MMA. Yeah, I mean, like, it's cool, I guess, but it's not martial arts, it's just sport fighting. I would stand in class and do that. I would be listening to one of my students. I would just like walk around with the staff. Some of my students probably know that too. They're probably laughing. Like I just like walk around like this and just like, as I was like analyzing the class, sometimes I would correct the technique or something, but I would just be standing there just doing this unconsciously, not even thinking about it. I just sort of kind of spinning my staff. So yeah, basically the idea is that's gonna spin fast, but I don't want to do it too fast in here, guys. Like that's normally what like obviously that's spinning fast, but I just that's as fast as I'm going in here. I'm just not gonna pick it up in here. That's all. That's all. Just not gonna. Because all it would take is one time fast, and I would break something. I mean, it's martial arts. You're gonna the moment you do it one time fast, you're gonna see how realistic. Well, that was actually that happened to me one time too. I was demonstrating something, and I was demonstrating why the physics of stepping through and allowing your weight to follow through with the strike as you're moving forward, your momentum working forward and then driving that down as you drive into a strike is stronger than just standing here and shifting and striking. And I was trying to explain that to somebody because, the idea is that you have that whole motion of pivot, stepping, and motion forward. And I was trying to explain this to somebody. And, obviously the only example an instructor thinks of is, well, they got to feel it, So we got the kick bag out, and they're holding the kick bag, and like, that's the point, is I had my favorite staff. I was literally demonstrating this with my favorite staff, not this one. It was a different one. And I really, really liked the staff. And I was like, all right, I'm going to only do this with like 50% power because I don't want to mess up. Like, I'm thinking of myself. So I will only going to do it with 50% power. So I literally just went, all right, I'm going to do it like that. You're going to hold it and you're going to feel it, okay? So I went and, 50% power. I just went and I twisted and I just, boom, And yeah, like, for sure, I could feel my staff, boom. This is the point, like, a staff it's wood. It's not designed to hit something flat like that really hard. It's to hit somebody in the head. It's to, like, it's for specific areas. It's not really for body shots and stuff. It's very specific. And so, like, that's the point. So yeah, I made a real good point. I made my point. Because as soon as I stepped through, I literally stepped through and I just went, whoom. And, 50%, but 50% with a physically stronger technique, yeah, like, that's all that happened. I literally broke my staff right in half. I literally just, I literally just stepped through and hit the thing with the same power. So basically what I did was I used the same twisting torso power that I did the first time. It's just that I allowed for the extra step to convert through my whole motion on the second one, so that way they could see, absolutely, adding an additional movement, an additional motion obviously adds more physics, it adds more momentum, it adds more inertia, that's the idea, like, you're adding another motion. So, I was trying to explain that physics, but I guess they weren't getting it. But anyway, I made my point because I broke my staff in half. I broke my staff clean in half. And, that was the whole point, was that, if you're already moving and you have momentum, and then you root and twist, it's not only the momentum of you twisting and doing your technique, but it's also the momentum that you gathered moving forward before that. You're adding motion. How the fuck is that not... what? So that was why, like, I I was really just trying, to show this person with how the hit works, because clearly physics and science didn't do it. So I just, was trying to be an example. And yeah, like I fully made my point, because I broke my staff in half when I did that. And I think I made I personally think I made a valid point with that. So, that's the point is you can see it was my favorite staff, man. I don't want to break my favorite staff. The point was I didn't even try it. I just did exactly the same. I really did. I really didn't want to break my staff. I really just did the same, and that's what happened. Like, I didn't even try it, was the point. You have to rationalize that. The point is, I put so much force, didn't even have to try. And the staff broke with how much force that I was able to hit with. And the point is, it wasn't trying, it was the same amount as the previous one. And the previous one didn't break the freaking staff. It didn't even feel like it was close. It just hit it. Next one, just clean break. It literally broke it clean too. Just poof. And we're just talking, they're just holding a regular kick pad. One that you kick. That my students hold it in class, and then you kick them, It's one of those, it was literally just one of those. And it broke on that. So, that's the point behind the staff. And so you're starting to rationalize, okay, so then what use is a staff? This is the questions I used to love, because I used to talk about driving and driving strikes versus snapping strikes. And these are the things that people screw up. Don't have a lot of time, but very quickly, a driving strike, the difference between a driving strike is that the driving strike is meant to cause damage. It's meant to incapacitate or just take down the person, whereas a snapping strike is meant to stun. Stun, get something else in. So an example here's the problem. Examples can be strikes that can also be snapping and driving strikes. So that's the issue, is giving you worded examples changes things a bit. However, one thing I will say is that with a staff, for the most part, you are doing what's called snapping strikes. And the reason for this is because a snapping strike is a whipping sort of strike, where it's a stun. It's not a driving strike where you're going to break this staff. You're not like pressing. It's a real quick snap. So like a palm strike, a snap kick, a slapping palm versus a driving palm. Like when you go like that versus... versus that. Okay? Same thing with a punch. You can really whip a punch out there versus, like obviously there's a difference between that and, like obviously we all know snapping versus driving, right? So the concept with a staff, the whole concept, snapping. Snapping. Don't do any driving strikes unless you're stab, stabby, stab. That's it. And even then, yeah, I promise, even then. Yeah, you'll try to drive with a staff and you'll just realize it bends and doesn't really, no, even then. It's sort of like timed just right, like almost like you're playing pool. Think about it like you have a pool cue and you're hitting that white ball into the other ball. It's exactly like that. That stab is exactly like that. You have to time it just right at just the right point to catch them off center of gravity. So a lot of times it's here. You know, like you're driving up. People are like, oh, well, that wouldn't really do anything. Exact right spot, trust me. So right here, if they're coming in and you come up and stab up, oh, trust me. Oh, trust me. The harder they come in, boom. That thing's going right up into that jaw, and they will taste their own tonsils if they have them. Oh my. Oh my. Now they're going down. It's probably only the one. But you have that boom, and then as soon as you have that, you can just whip right around, smack. And then, whoop, bam, right on top of the head. So, like, that's the point of the staff, is just like it's one right after another. It kind of moves, it flows. So you just get the 1, 2, 3, and you don't really need the driving strikes. It's just very specific, precise things. Much like the rest of Kung Fu. And thus, we have our gateway to understanding Kung Fu a bit more. Now, other things that we might relate to and kind of understand a bit, like staff and stuff like that. Kung Fu, and a lot of understanding Kung Fu, it has a lot more to do with being precise about things, you know. Blocks aren't necessarily blocks, they're strikes. You know, when I block something, I actually don't think about it as blocking it, I think about it as striking the arm. And being so fast, so quick, my strike block wasn't really even a strike. And that's why the hands seem to do more, and that's why it seems to be quicker and stuff, because it is. You'll do 10, 12 movements with your hands when somebody does 2. And that's why you're way ahead. And the whole point is, I was so precise, I now just deadened your arm, and you can't even move it. Because I hit the pressure points on your arm with the same force that you were punching with. And the force of my chops. Get what I'm saying? And sometimes if I'm not being so nice, maybe these. If you start understanding how to do that properly and use it properly versus the way people teach it. So, that's the point. Is essentially Kung Fu where it blocks and doesn't waste movement. You know, you essentially can use one hand to do a lot of that stuff where it's a lot of non-wasted movement. You don't think it does a whole lot, trust me. If somebody threw a strike at me, my block would just, that's it. And you think, oh, it's not, no. It is. It's enough. Because I want your punch to be close. I want you to think that you've gotten it. That's the point. So if it's just a hairline close, and I just tap it, you're close. Okay? And you start understanding things like this, where you see the Bagua stylists and stuff like that, in Ip Man and stuff. Does it start making sense now? Hopefully I can fill in the blanks without revealing too much to beginners where they want to try advanced stuff. Definitely learn it properly. Learn it properly. Don't be irresponsible with it. You know, the idea is to motivate people to want to learn it correctly and not these weird, stupid ways that I've seen so many people do. I see so many people doing martial arts, Kung Fu, and it's like one thing with all this other stuff missing. And then they don't understand what they're doing. You get what I'm saying? And then that's why all these people think that like brute force styles are better and stuff like that, because, well, yeah, compared to that they are. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, if you don't understand what you're doing with all that stuff, sure. But I can promise you, really big dude standing in front of me, it just doesn't scare me anymore. You know, like it's the sort of thing where I'll be very calm about it. And he'll throw all this effort at me, probably. And the bigger he is, the harder he falls. I mean, it's true. It's true. It's true. If you know what you're doing, that's true. I mean, truthfully, if you know what you're doing, that is true. But you have to know what you're doing. There can't be a second of hesitation, a second of doubt, a second of your muscle memory not working. You have to simply be good and be firing on all cylinders. And that's it. And, you know, the muscle memory kicks in when you have that skill. But if you never have it, it won't kick in. You have to have gotten to that point. Otherwise, you don't have it. Never did. So yeah, like that's what a lot of it is just people being intimidated by somebody that's taller than them or bigger than them, and not really understanding how that relates to martial arts and being able to kind of overcome that and accomplish those things. Bigger is not stronger. Remember that. Bigger is not stronger. Flexibility is strength. Leverage is why you think he's stronger. So use that. Okay? His leverage over you is everything with physics. And that's why we have to include physics in martial arts. His leverage, the big guy's leverage, is why most people struggle with that. That's it. It's leverage. You know, it's Would you try to chop a tree down right in the middle? Okay. And then what happens if you go after the trunk? Well, then you have to worry about it falling over, right? Falling over on you? Right. So there's a strategy to it, right? Right. Just like that tree. Just like with that tree, doing an angle cut. Coming at an angle. Just like that tree. Coming at an angle. Just like that tree. Coming at an angle. Okay? Not everything. Now, everything is straight lines. Remember that. Always, 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 always straight lines. Straight lines, straight lines, straight lines. If you're not doing straight lines, you're sloppy. Your punches better be straight lines. Your chops better be straight lines. Your kicks better be straight lines. Always, always, always straight. However, you should be moving around. You should position your footwork exactly to where you want your body positioned to be for that strike to go. You need to throw it at an angle. You need to get more comfortable with angles. Stop thinking so one-dimensional. I submit to you that if you throw your punch at the correct angle, just that, the correct angle, and you throw it at the same time as the person in front of you, you'll hit them before they hit you. I've done it a lot and surprised the shit out of people. That's why people think I'm fast. Well, I am, but they didn't know why. It's not a trick, but it would seem like it. Because the point is, they didn't know what it was doing. They just didn't have the skill level yet to understand it. So it was just a matter of seeing the strike come, being able to recognize with my eyes, my brain, my subconscious that exactly what was coming, and just simply react with the angled punch instead of doing anything that mattered, wasting energy. I'll just hit him faster. That's it. And it just came to me just so natural, and that's how it happens. You don't have to think once you get to a certain point. You just do. That's why martial artists, like the ones that get to the certain point that they do, it's not like, you know, seeing him do all this stuff and all that, you know, like it really isn't that tough anymore. Because at a certain point, you just do it. You're like, really? That's tough? Yeah, it really does get to that point. It really does. Because you've just been doing it so intensely. You just really get to a certain point with it, where you get like that. Yeah. And then that's really fun, too, when you get to that point. But yeah, angles. Angles. So if somebody's throwing a hook, okay? Somebody's just throwing a hook straight in, just right like this. Boom, right like this. And I decide to simply drop and throw a jab straight at your chin. Suddenly, I've hit you in your chin really fast. I've dropped lower than your punch is reaching, and now you're punching over my head and getting hit at the same time. You're probably going to fall over. And then 9 times out of 10, I'm coming after you. Like right after that. I see that off balance, I'm just coming at you. So, yeah, you have to realize, and I didn't even put much effort into it. I just threw a jab. And all it was the fact that I understood footwork and angle. So a lot of it is footwork, angles, and not wasting energy. Not wasting energy. You know, if essentially you can get to the point where, you know, your blocks feel like freaking hammers, even when they're open hand. That's what you want. You know, you want them to feel like freaking hammers, even when they're open hand. You just want people to feel like it. You know, they're getting hit with literal freaking metal hammers in their arms. Yeah, this is the point. This is why Bruce Lee would do the conditioning regimen he would do. With, you know, like, this is the point. You don't just do the push-ups and the strikes and the kicks. No, you have to do the conditionings too. And this is often what other people wouldn't do. Is just, even if you hit him, he's coming like a truck right through it because it didn't mean anything. And that's the point. You know, is like, yes, the technique is flawless too, but he also, just like me and anybody else that's a realistic martial artist, a realist, you're gonna get hit. You will. You aren't perfect. You're a human being. So the point is, be able to take that. And that's what Bruce Lee, he wasn't flawless. He would get hit. Obviously. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done the conditioning regimen that he did. So, yeah, like, that's the point. Like, the point is, that hit should not matter. It should be, like, nothing. You know, like a boxer trains to get hit, too. And so, like, that's the point. Like, you rationalize, you know, actually, a lot of what a boxer does, they have a lot of it right, believe it or not. They really do. The boxers are actually good fighters, for the most part. It's just that a lot of them typically get really, really too into just the punching and then lose a lot of flexibility over the years. So the one thing I'd add to a boxer that wants to increase his skill and stuff like that is just don't lose your flexibility. It's incredibly important to remember that boxing and all kinds of stuff causes huge problems for the back. Massive problems for the back and the neck, really. You're just doing high impact hits with only your hands. You're not even balancing it with your feet. So there's no balance to that. You're just putting all that into your back. So the hip displacement's just like your hip's one in there too. So there's nothing re-stretching that spine back out. The balance would be if you did kicks too. so you could stretch the spine back out. That's the point. Like boxers that just do that, they're never stretching the spine back out, doing kicks, pulling it this way and back that way. It's literally that simple. People don't understand moderation in life. They really don't know how to moderate, how to use the concept of moderation in life and then apply it to life. Like, just kick too. Oh man. So yeah, just remember that, like, with anything you do, you still need to stay flexible. It's that thing they told you in gym class that you made fun of. It's the truth, though. This is true. You have to stay flexible. You have to. For sure. There was a lot of guys that kind of went through this too, and got to a certain point. They were great, phenomenal. I've seen guys be really good at grappling too. You know, excellent fighters, because they're just great grapplers. Excellent fighters. They just immediately understand leverage and momentum and throws and all, just phenomenal fighters usually. And so, like, that's the point. However, you know, there's also those guys that would get in trouble in a real situation with someone like me, who immediately will recognize somebody that can grapple. Just sizing you up, I'll recognize that you might be a good grappler or whatever, and we'll take that chance, and we'll just not allow that to go on very long. And a lot of these guys typically come in one of two different ways. Usually one or two different ways a lot of grapplers will come at you. And I got news for you. Unfortunately, it's head first. And yeah, so we know what happens when you charge head first. It's insane how many people actually get away with that too. They'll just charge head first and people don't know what to do. Because it just works a lot of the time. That shouldn't work. That person's not a very good fighter if you can charge at them and they don't have the ability to just stay calm and react. It's not a good fighter. It's not. Yeah, and then there's the smart way too. And I obviously can grapple just fine, so you know, it's the sort of thing where even if you had that knowledge, I'd end up just reversing the throw. So, which people have experienced with. I mean, I am very good at reversing throws. That was the one thing I had to, because I wasn't a heavy guy. You're gonna get thrown if you're light. It's gonna happen. They're gonna recognize it. You have to be able to reverse that. Trust me. You're in for a rude awakening, because you really don't get how easy it is to reverse a throw once you understand it. Because you're doing a throw. There is momentum there. It's just about the technique. A lot of it is about tucking the head. It's really, a lot of it's about that. A lot of it is just about doing that right at the exact right time you need to. Because if you don't set it right. But trust me, if you tuck the head at exactly the right time that you need to, you'd be surprised how they just can't even get the leverage on you. You'd be surprised how my little tip makes all the difference. And just tuck that head right when I need to. And then suddenly shoot up and toss them. You'd be surprised. I like to do the one where you come up under the armpit and your shoulder goes into their armpit, but you reach around the opposite side of their head, and now you wrench their arm up and their head toward you under their armpit, and you're just like wrenching that. That hurts. I like doing that one. And then I just throw you. Yes, I could do the other one too. The one that just drops you. I'm not gonna say it by name. Not gonna say it by name and get like a shitload of freaking bots in here and stuff. But yeah, I can do that one too. It's actually pretty simple. I'm surprised more people can't do it. The escape is actually very simple, surprisingly. There's actually a very good escape for that you could easily do, that I know. But nobody here to show it to you, to grab me so I can show you how to do it, so I guess I can't do it. Yeah, I mean, stuff like that, flat out, I need a partner to show you. I can't there's no way. I'm not going to sit here and show you something without properly showing it to you. I would need somebody to actually put the hold on me. Not going to half-ass it. Sorry. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Doobie dooey dooey doo ah. Doo 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 doo. It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. These Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better with everything freshest. Fresh goes better with everything fresh and full of life. Mentos, the fresh maker. Da 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 dun. Da 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 dun. Da 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 dun. Da 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 dun. Da 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 dun. You're never gonna stop me when I may have been dreaming. The day is approaching, I'll show you what I'm made of. It's just the beginning, anxiety is justified. Tell you something, now you will survive. Justice will be mine. The sound of your beat, like time is slowly ticking down. Won't see me coming. But end your life without a sound. Hear me now. In some point, I fulfill myself. There's no escape. I am unstoppable. Hey, yo! Have you had enough of it? Are the blind all leading the blind? Hey, yo! You walking away. You've got the wrong kind of mindset. It's helping no one. Hey, you throw it away. Realize it. Do 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 do. That would be great to go listen to some Korn right now. I should go listen to some Korn. Some Korn with a K. I should go listen to some Korn with a K. Some Korn with a K. Bitch. Some Korn. Some Korn. Some Korn. Some Korn. But will do do, but wouldn't do do, but wouldn't do, but will do do. I'm watching you. I thought it would be fun and games. It's done. It's all the same. I want something to do. Need to feel the sickness in you. I feel the reason as it's leaving me. No, not again. It's quite deceiving as I'm feeling no flash. Make me bad, make me bad. I feel the reason as it's leaving me. No, not again. Deceiving as I'm feeling no flash. Make me bad. I feel the reason it's leaving me again. Something takes a part of me. Let's see. Ooh. And if you take a step towards me, you will take my breath away. And so I'll keep you close, keep my secret safe. No one else has ever loved me, no one else has ever tried. I never understood how much I could take. That's just keep you here with me, gone beyond my years, I've wasted my life, found it on you. Did I save you? 'Cause I know you saved me too. No one else has ever loved me, no one else has ever tried. I never was. Oh man, good song. I also like the bloody angle, the symmetry. He's a losing holding me. My mouth is a gun I can shoot. I can show you the truth. And I don't need a reason to lie to you. No pun intended, no punishment. And if I offended you, you needed it. I can bleed if I want to bleed. I can bleed if I feel the need. That's right, that's my last confession. This life, it feels like oh, I'm not afraid. I'm giving into grief and sense again. You're looking at an absolute zero. And I'm not the devil, but I won't be your hero. I love that song. That whole album was great. Seven Dust is good too. But that was Stone Sour. Stone Sour. The Seven Dust is good too. I like Slipknot. I like Stone Sour. I mean, I like all of them. It slowly stops the earth, but it's made of all the things I have to say. Just enough to push its way inside. If the pain goes on. Dun, 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 dun. That's my favorite Slipknot song. Specifically why I can do drum beats like that. If you're wondering why I can do that on my steering wheel, you can thank Joey Jordison, you can thank Slipknot. Yeah. It's literally that and then Psychosocial. I did my time, and no one else. So if we said right. I'm not the only one. No one else can see preservation of the murder in me. Secrets have gone mad. This is nothing new. This is look me in the eyes and say, now there's only emptiness. And the rain of yellow snow. It's a vision of the murder of me. And the rain of yellow snow. And we found ourselves against the wall. No one else can see. A present vision of the murder in me. Psychosocial. 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 And then there's always. Doom. 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 Under these chains, my friend, show you the rage I give in. Where is the sacrament? Swallow, nothing's forgiven. You and I can't decide which of us is taken for granted. In between ends the lies, you're not what you've seen.
So step inside! I see the devil in I!
Too many times we've let it come to this.
So step inside! I see the devil in I!
Too many times we've let Devil and I. Good song. That was a little extra. Sorry. I love the guy from Volbeat. He's such a unique sound to his voice. I love it. Counting all the assholes in the room, I'm definitely not alone. I'm not alone. You're a liar, you're a cheater, you're a fool. Well, that's just like you. And whatever the hell he says right here. And something about your hair. I have no idea what he says. But he says it here, yeah. Counting all the assholes in the room, I'm definitely not alone. I'm not alone. Zah! Such a good song. No, I love Volbeat. I do. I like it all. I just think he's such a unique vocalist. Who else sounds like him, you know? I love Shotgun Blues, too. I love Shotgun Blues. Love that song. Love it. Like, love it. Fucking love Shotgun Blues. I just love Volbeat, man. Like, I don't know, you gotta appreciate what they can do. Nobody else sounds like them. You know, like, it's sort of kind of like Metallica, Godsmack, with some southern stuff. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's, I don't know, like, you can't even say it's this or that. Like, it's, you know, like, it's like a bunch of different stuff. It's just good. You know, arguably some AC/DC influence, you know? I mean, like, you know, like, it's just, it's obvious the influences, but, like, they stand on their own, you know? Like, Heaven and Hell is really good. The devil's walking around. For a moment I don't even care. Till it's feel burning my hair. And even if you feel it too. And I was looking at you. For a moment I saw an angel become a devil. Hand in hand. Baby, you don't need heaven or hell. Heaven or hell. The devil's walking around. Old Mate's great. So yeah, heaven and hell. What the fuck's that song called? The one counting. Now I feel bad because now I forget the name. It's like track 3, right? And then Shotgun Blues. See, I know the track. Like I have the CD. I own that album. I feel bad that I can't. It's like Countdown or something like that. I forget now. Now I feel bad. Everybody knows that one though. Counting? It's counting. It's counting. That's what it's called. It's called counting. Yeah, it's called counting. Counting all the assholes in the room. Yeah, it's counting. Go watch the live version though. There's a really good live version on YouTube. There really is. There's a really good one. Blow you away. They're such a good live band. They are. I actually really like him. I know his voice kind of sounds a little extra, but I actually like that. I think it fits the music, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, it's the way he sounds, man. It's cool. I like it. He reminds me kind of I don't know. I like the band. The band's really good. I like his expressions. Like he has fun. He has like goofy expressions that like they don't try to take themselves like too seriously, and I appreciate that. Like that's all. Like I appreciate that because that's where I'm at with a lot of that stuff anymore. Like. You know, like, the guys just act way too, you know, like a certain way, like, you know, like, you get what I'm saying. I just like it when, you know, you can just enjoy it. That's all. Do. It's in my head. But yeah. Do. I mean, that flat out is an AC/DC influence. You can just hear it. The harmonica kicks in though too, so like you just get that southern feel to it, you know. I like Clutch too. Clutch is an excellent band. Love Clutch. Good band. But I mean, Seven Discs. You guys already know like my top like Ozzy, Black Label Society, Disturbed, Seven Discs. You guys know like these are like my top pretty much. And then like I have other ones obviously like I have plenty of other bands I love, like, you know, like The Offspring and Killswitch Engage. So many bands I love. But you know, like I'm obviously still at my top, and you guys know, like that's pretty much all that's in my head anymore. That's like a lot of the stuff from, you know, like my favorite bands and all that. But I mean, like I still got. I mean, there's plenty of favorite bands that I have, you know, because like you guys know I listen to Metallica and stuff too. So like I always got stuff rolling around in my head. You know, I mean. I like Atlas Rise. That was one of my favorite newer songs that Metallica put out. Was Atlas Rise. I love the riff. It's so cool. If you watch the video is like them like recording it in the studio and stuff, and in the end, like Lars stabs his snare drum head with the sticks. And I've done that before. I felt his pain in that moment. I know what that means too. I feel like almost any drummer should know what that means when he does that. Basically, that means that for like the past probably hour, he's been dealing with the same annoying fucking snare head that's burned out, and he's trying to get through this song without replacing the head. And he's trying to get through it, but the fucking snare doesn't have any bounce left to it. So he's trying to just like get through it and force himself to do it. I recognize it. I see it. Because it's like you've done it a million times, you know? And he's trying to get through it. And then he just finally does. He finally does. And then so, like, you know, that marks the end. He just stabs the fucking head at the end. You know he's done when he stabs the head. He can't use it after that. So he finally just had enough and just went, screw this stupid thing. Or he didn't finish it, or he just went, screw this stupid thing and stabbed it. But the point is, if you stab a snare head like that, it was so thin, the point is that he could. Like, it was getting to that point where he could feel the weaknesses happening, and there was no bounce left. And eventually he was just done with it and stabbed the snare. I thought it was great. I felt his pain in that moment. Yeah, for sure, man. I've been there. Because, like, one of the more frustrating things is when you like the sound of a snare a certain way, but because you're doing it that certain way, it doesn't have as much bounce and pop as you'd like, so you just have to put a little bit more oomph to it, too. And yeah, Lars, man, there's definitely a guy known for his snare work. It's definitely Lars. That's definitely Lars. Oh, I mean, like, phenomenal drummer. Phenomenal drummer. You don't take that away from Lars. And by the way, like, those really complex, like, rhythms and stuff, and constantly changing in and out of them, that concept isn't from Sevendust. Morgan Rose is just absolutely incredible at doing it. Morgan Rose is absolutely just freaking phenomenal at doing it. So everybody just kind of sees it and hears it as like a new kind of concept because he's so good at packaging it. It sounds like something you've never heard before. But truthfully, Metallica and other bands have been doing these concepts for a while and, you know, being very good at it. It's just, again, you can't take away how creative and amazing Morgan Rose is at progressively tying together his drum riffs with his fills in just such a creative way. Because, like, again, that music, that is such progressive music where, like, yes, it's formatted, but truthfully, there's a lot more going on there, and it definitely progresses, you know, for sure. And it's not always like, they really don't always have a format. Like, the song does progress, and I would call it progressive. I would call it a touch of progressive metal. If I was listening, I would call it a touch of progressiveness, where it changes more than the normal format, but then comes back to it. But then also the breakdowns and stuff are just sometimes so eerie, so different than the rest of the song, and it ties it together correctly that it's just, I don't know, it's really hard to say it's not progressive. Like, it's such a unique sound, and the way they do it is kind of amazing, actually. So yeah, like, there's really only one Sevendust, and there's only one Morgan Rose, and, like, that's a lot of the magic of that band, in my opinion, is that drummer doing a lot of those things. But, you know, you also have, like I said, you also have Tool. You have Tool, you have Metallica, you have Iron Maiden. Yeah, if you want to go back, if you want to really go back, you have Iron Maiden too. And these drums, people really don't listen to the Iron Maiden drums, but they should. Like, that's actually some really hard stuff. All right, go listen to The Prisoner. The song The Prisoner from Iron Maiden. What? You are I am number one. You are number two. I am not a number. I am a free man. Do-do-do-do-do. 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 Like just, and then like it picks up. Do-do-do-do-do. 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 Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. It's literally it's like so fast too. Like, you have to do all that on the snare. You have to literally come back to the snare and do double beats. It's literally so hard to do. That's some tough stuff, man. Iron Maiden, and like, just people underestimate this stuff, I think. I always liked Future Real. You ever heard of the song Future Real? What is real? Future real. I always liked Future Real. Good song. I mean, everybody seems to like Trooper. I don't care. I really don't. I like The Number of the Beast. I like The Prisoner. I like Future Real. I mean, I liked that album. I liked The Number of the Beast, and I liked that time period. I think was really what it was for me. It was just, for some reason, I really liked that music. I'm not a prisoner. I'm a free man. I know where I'm going. Out. I love that song. It's such a good song. Everyone's like, "Oh, The Number of the Beast." Yeah, that was good. But The Prisoner, man, really good song. Well, to you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends the beast with wrath, because he knows that time is short. Let him who have understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666. I left alone. My mind was blank. I needed time to think, to get the memories from my mind. And what did I see? Can I believe that what I saw that night was real and not just fantasy? Just what I saw in my own dreams was a reflection of my woman staring back at me. 'Cause in my dreams, it's always there! Feeble things that twist my mind and brings me to despair! Yeah! Night was black, there's no use holding back. Was all this for real or just some crazy hell? In the abyss, dark figures move and twist. I think I mixed up the line again. See, I do what I did with Disturbed, too. Because Iron Maiden does that, too. They also tell stories, too. So, sometimes I'll mess up. Yeah, I said it wrong. Because that makes sense. It'll rhyme with the chorus. Dark figures move and twist. Was all this for real? Or just some crazy hell? 666! The number of the beast! Hell and fire was born to be released. Christ was placed. I love that song. I mean, how do you not love Number of the Beast? But anyway, I think I gotta get going. It's time to go. It's time to go. We're singing, messing around too long. Now I gotta go. I gotta go. Gotta go. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it.